I wanted to address something that the Lord revealed to me recently because it's really bothering me. Um, Let me just restate that if you are chosen, you know right now. You know already that you've been chosen because the Lord has been grooming you since you were very young. So you might be able to relate to this. So at some point during my walk, I started to say that the church was full of witchcraft, right? And I didn't know if it was just basically the churches I've been going to, because the churches I go to most of the time are Pentecostal. Like, I like to praise and worship actively and lively. So those are the churches I chose to go to. But what I discovered recently is that the church as we know it to be is a joke. That there are tons of people who use the idea of Christianity and being a Christian to entice women, to get position, attention, etc., etc. Not only that, the church, the building that we know as we know it, instead of focusing on the family and focusing on relationships, um, they've made us as people, like how we naturally feel, as being something that's wrong. Like, I'm going to use this as my example. In the church, I remember when I first started to I started to have a Holy Spirit experience and started to go to a church. I remember talking blatantly about intimacy, about people in relationships. And I remember I was in nursing at the time. I remember talking about um, the ways to, I can't remember what it was exactly, but I had mentioned birth control because I was in nursing. So I think that if you are a Christian and you're in nursing, you have to kind of like incorporate some of the thinking you're thinking, because your part of your job is to help people. So that has to be part of your walk. You have to find some way to make it part of your walk. So I remember mentioning birth control, and the whole group of the women, it was a women's meeting. The whole group of the women looked at me. They said nothing, and they looked at me almost like I was some kind of heathen. And the point of me saying this is that I'm finding that the church demonizes intimacy. And so men look outside of the church to satisfy their needs. So they could be pornography, it could be a side chick, it could be, I don't know, satisfying their own needs personally. And I find with women, what they do is they become prudes. This is just my experience. It may be different for you. So if a man approaches them, he's too much. He's being too. He wants it too often. Blah blah blah. So if a guy's a professional, he seems to want to find a woman who would complement his professional position. And oftentimes they find women who be good moms. They may or may not know how to cook, clean, but with intimacy, they're lacking. They're prudes because they've been taught to think that it's naughty to be intimate or to be sexual or to be sensual. There's that. I think that's a mistake. I think that's a mistake. Why? Because men, whether they're Christian or not, are visual creatures. I think it's important for a woman to keep that in mind. You may or may not be able to maintain, your youthfulness in regards to maybe your weight. You had children, you gained weight. But in that regard, there's ways. There's ways to eat healthy. There's ways to stay active. What I'm finding is that men, whether they're in and out or out of the church, are their need for intimacy, for lack of a better word, is being demonized. So they're meant to feel, so they go out, they in secret do things. They may seek a boyfriend, they may seek a side chick, they may have relations with people in the congregation, and I believe this is the church dropping the ball. We have to, as a church, we're human beings. There's nothing wrong with having feelings for a woman, but I think it's important to direct those feelings, right? There's ways to be be a Christian and not be married and not want to be intimate. There's ways to deal with that. That's if you're constantly, if you're getting married just to be intimate, there's going to be problems, because there's going to be something lacking. A relationship is not just being intimate. There's other things. There's going to be bills to pay. There's going to be issues that come up. There's going to be decisions that have to be made. And if the marriage is just based on how much attraction you have, there's going to be huge problems. If the marriage is just based on this is a good person to have to breed or to have children with, then you may be lacking in compatibility. They may be lacking in the amount of intimacy someone has. There's so many discussions that need to be made that are had that are not being had. Now, I'm not a pastor. I don't know what happens behind closed doors when people are preparing to be married. But all I know is my walk right now is, I guess maybe it's the time that I was born. I think it's very important to maintain your health in relation to staying fit, eating healthy, eating what God provides for us. When I hit the stage in life and I hit menopause, I discovered that more than anything, I should have been told to eat healthy years ago. Because right now, at this stage in our lives, we're reaping the repercussions of eating unhealthy, of eating garbage, of eating what's packaged for us, what's been presented to us, fast food, packaged food, things that have been made in a factory and presented to us. Big mistakes, chock full of sugar, chock full of chemicals we can't pronounce. When I decided that I was going to go back to eating healthy, and mind you, this is not just me, this is God directing me. My appetite for certain things have been gone. I've been fasting with not wanting to fast. I still have an appetite for food, but I've been not having, I still like food, but my appetite for food has changed. Not only that, there's a lot of things that my flesh would love that the Lord has removed. And I was questioning why I'm not feeling like everybody else. Why don't I have an urge like everybody else does? But I think the Lord is, for the true church, is removing certain fleshly wants and needs to prepare us for what is to come. The church as we know it, the building with the pastors, the priests, and whatever else, are not preparing people for what is to come. People are ill prepared. They are focusing on the wrong things. People are very fleshly. They want what they want when they want it now. They're not considering other people's feelings. People in the church as well as in the world. So the church is not exempt. The church as we know it. People are selfish. They're self-serving. They're easily angered. And so what I'm sharing with you right now is what the Lord has revealed to me over the course of these past few weeks. There's no division. Sorry for the birds are so loud. There's no division or distinction between the people in the church and the people in the world. You can't even tell. It's so difficult to tell who's a Christian woman or a Christian man. And I have to say for myself too, I'm part of the problem, because lately it's been so hot this summer. And because of that, I used to wrap my hair. I haven't wrapped it a lot lately. And in regards to how I dress, it's been less coverage, mostly because of the heat. I don't know if that's much of an excuse, but that's really what it's been. So what I'm going to say is this: the church as we know it, there's nothing there to feed us spiritually. If you're going to be fed, you have to ask God to lead you, guide you, and to feed you. The word is there. Fasting and prayer is there. Removing yourself from all worldly things. Although there's things around us. If you go shopping, if you listen to social media, you're going to come across it. So taking periods where you're not exposed to all these stimulants is going to be important. I am sweating like I'm so sweaty. Okay, so there's a couple other things I'd like to talk about. Not today though, but I wanted to just share that this is pressing to me. There's people that I know who, because remember, I have not been married. I have children, I have not been married. And the reason why I had not been married is because I allowed people to choose me. I allowed men to choose me. I wasn't guided as a young person in regards, your mother tells you don't do this or do that, whatever, blah, blah. I wasn't guided that way. So I had to learn through my experiences. The only blessing out of that situation is my daughters are brilliant and they're beautiful, and I have no problems with them. God knew what I could handle. I couldn't handle more than what they bring to the table. But I look back, and I've been going through a process of healing and looking back on where where I'm coming from and why I'm at where I'm at right now. And what I discovered is that the decisions I made, even though I had no idea what I was doing, there's a point where the Lord said, okay, I'll let you make decisions based on your not knowing. But at some point, He has given me a gift or a way to speak to me that when it gets to that place where He's saying to stop, my stomach feels a certain way. So when it came to the point of going to the point of being married, I always pulled back. And there's lots of reasons why I could tell you, but there's several reasons why, but I won't bore you with those things. I'll just tell you that that's the reason why I'm in the situation I'm in right now. And I'm actually quite thankful that I didn't get married then, because I know if I was married to the people that I could have been married to, I would have been a mess. I would have been probably very lonely, very sad, because there's so much, and if you're a chosen one, you know. There's so much in you. You've had so much to give to somebody, and you know when it's time to stop giving. I hope you do by this time. And so I went through a period of like giving to the wrong people, and unfortunately or fortunately, when I end up having the children, I realized for their sake to remove myself. And this is not disrespect to the fathers, because they are good people. They just were not for me. That being said, my children definitely, now that they're older and enough to look back and see what the heck, they had some questions for me. We've had some discussions about it, because and I think when you're young, you don't even realize and think to yourself, you're going to have to answer questions. Your children are going to want to know what's going on or what happened. Anyway, the church as we know it is pretty much a joke. It's not teaching. I mean, they talking about the end times right now, but I think the real thing now is to deal with the false religions on the earth. We can't collaborate with them. Participating in yoga, meditation, all those things that they bring to the table is a mistake. We're opening up gateways for all different things, for lust, for pride, for greed. These demons, if you, I'm not saying you should, but if you have an understanding about what these demons represent, these people who worship these entities house the demons that they bring to the table, and there are many. They profess this. They have many gods, right? They have gods that destroy things. They have gods that promise them prosperity. They have gods that, and all these things evoke lust, pride, greed, jealousy. So honestly, there's no way someone who says that they're Christian should be collaborating or doing anything that they said. An example of this is this social media has, I guess Nicki Minaj or something must have initiated this. It's this pose that all these beautiful women are doing where they're crouched down in heels on some kind of like pedestal. And there is I think a Hindu god that is posed the same way. These poses that people do, whether it be in yoga or whatever else, they mean something. They mean something. It's just like, we cannot just do what people say we should do and not look into why they're doing it. It's not just fun and games. All the things that Hollywood and these music producers and celebrities bring to the table is not it's not just for fun, us to entertain us. There's a purpose. They work for the enemy, and they say it all the time. The church brings this type of music and behavior into the church. It's a mistake. It's a mistake. So that being said, the Lord is preparing and about to reveal who his church, his chosen group, is going to be. And so if this is you and you know who you are, just know that it's not punish. It may feel like punishment, but it's not. It needs to happen. It's a part of our walk. And supposedly at some point in our time that we knew the Lord that he foreknew us. At some point during that time, we must have came to an agreement with this. We must have agreed to this. And I know you may not remember this or whatever, but supposedly that's how it went down. Like before the Lord foreknew us, he knew us before our mother's womb. So this whole thing that you're going through is a part of your walk, and it was planned before you were even born. So just hang in there. You're a special group of people. No offense to the church as we know it. I know people in there, they do love the Lord, but we have to seek out our own salvation with fear and trembling. This is not a joke. This is not a joke. I'd like to have a full-fledged discussion about men and women who feel that being intimacy is vulgar, and it's not. It's beautiful. God intended us to be intimate within the guise of a marriage. Now, then you have to decide, who's your partner in every regard, not just in regards to who can bring you good kids. They're not horses. We're not breeding people. In regards to who is compatible with you, because once your kids grow up and leave, it's going to be you and your partner. So intimacy, how much of it is, and the way that it goes down is important. Those things should be discussed in the church, but they shun away from it, and people feel embarrassed to talk about it. That's insane. That's insane. God made it a part of our person. It's not wrong. Now, because of that, particularly men and women, have gone to pornography, strip clubs, and whatever else to find what they feel they're missing. Mind you, that hole is never filled there, because the intention is for you to keep coming back, not to be filled. So then it's perverted, and then the cycle continues itself. They feel perverse, they're not getting what they want, and then they go back. If I'm wrong, please, if anyone has something that they can say that collaborates with this, let me know. But I know this to be true. My experience has shown me this. The Lord is not, he didn't make a mistake with us. We are meant to love. We're meant to feel intimate. We're meant to be able to abstain as well. We're designed to be able to not have intimacy when God directs us not to. Mind you, if you're married, the Bible says only for a short time. You're supposed to please your husband or your wife. Anyway, I appreciate you all. Until next time, it's getting busy here. Until next time, guys, be blessed. Remember, you are a chosen group of people. This is not by chance. The Lord foreknew you before your mother's womb. And this is not, like I said, not by chance. It's planned. All right. You're a special, very special generation. All right. Until next time, be blessed, guys.